There's a lot of evidence to support the theory of evolution, and among all the evidence, we classify it into 4 categories. The first is by using the fossil record, and the fossil record provides us with information about the remains of past organisms, and it also shows us that there has been change over time. When you take a sample of the ground to look for fossils, you expect to find the oldest fossils at the bottom of your ground layer, and the newest fossils to be higher up in your ground layer. The second type of evidence would be biochemistry. So remember that we've talked about DNA, proteins, and amino acids, and how all organisms share the same DNA, proteins, and amino acids. It's the order of those amino acids, or the order of your nitrogen bases, that cause the differences that we see. But we're all made up of the same 4 letters. Embryology, this is the study of embryos. Early on in development, organisms have many similar characteristics, and a lot of them look almost identical. So for example, if you look at a chicken embryo and a human embryo, you would not be able to tell the difference because they look so closely related. The fourth type of evidence is comparative anatomy, and this is comparing different structures of organisms and their functions. There are 3 types of structures. The first is what we call an analogous structure, and these are structures that are not made from the same material, but they have a similar function. And most of the time that similar function is due to similar habitats. For example, wings. If you look at the wings of a bat and compare it to the wings of a bird compared to the wings of an insect, those are all 3 different species of animals. But they all have wings which have the same function, and that's to fly. Homologous structures, these are structures that have the same basic structure regardless of what organism you're looking at. So for example, if you compare the forelimbs of a human compared to a bat, we have all of the same bones present. There might just be a difference in the size of the bones or even the shape of the bones, but they're all still the same bone. And the last type of structure is what we call a vestigial structure. And these are body features or structures that are no longer used by modern animals. So for example, in humans, an appendix would be an example of a vestigial structure. It doesn't have a known function. You can also live without it, but it's still present. Also, if you look at whales, you'll notice that they have hip bones. Whales obviously don't have legs or don't need hip bones to support their upper body. So why do they have those? Well, that indicates that they may have come once from a land-dwelling animal.